What's good with y'all? You know what it is. It's your boy, the chosen one, God's chosen son. And I'm fresh off the wake up. Eyes is shimmering. I just having a hard time staying open. But yeah, the spirit moving this morning, man. I had to come from the right off the wake up from the bed again. Man, I want to come and talk about why we suffer. And me personally, from my experience, it's really only two reasons why we suffer. I'm gonna go over both of them and break them down. Firstly, I think why we suffer, a majority of what we go through is due to our own sin. And it's wild, like, stuff be happening to us and we think it's like it don't correlate to how we live our lives, the things that we say, how we treat other people, and what we do behind closed doors. Oh my goodness, my eyes so watery. I don't like this. Oh man, it's early, man. My eyes still watering and kind of sore, but yeah, man. I didn't mean to digress, but yeah, how we treat people and what we do behind closed doors, and just how we live our lives. And that's why it's so important to overcome sin, because this type of stuff correlate to our lives and it impact us. The Bible say, when we fully submit and bend our knee to Christ and to God's will, everything we do will be blessed. In the book of Deuteronomy, I believe it's the 27th chapter, they talk about the blessings we will have. We be blessed when we come, we be blessed when we go, we be blessed in our vineyards. But this was the price. The price we get for this. The price we pay for disobedience with God. Like it say, in Deuteronomy chapter 28, if we, for Israel being disobedient, for Israel being disobedient, everything we do is cursed. So anything we try and build this not, in alignment with God's will and obedience, it's gonna be cursed. You'll be when you walk, when you go out, when you come in, when you in the field, when you working, in relationships, all types of stuff. So I think a majority of the time, us our own issues and problems that we go through is based off of our own actions and decisions. And that's why it's so important to strive to be a better person, bruh. My advice to people, I want to say, you're not, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done in life, you're not irredeemable, bro. A lot of people, like, the way we view evil as humans and wickedness, like, God just look at it really all the same. The sin is sin, bruh, to him. Even if somebody's a murderer, even if somebody's like top tier, I ain't gonna go into all the stuff because these platforms don't let you talk about it. But I had to think about that at some point. Like, dang, when the Bible say anybody can be saved and forgiven, the only unforgivable sin is blasphemy and the Holy Spirit. So that means anybody that's I had to look at it and be like, man, so even murderers, rapists, all that type of stuff, like they have a chance at redemption, bro. So we had to look at it like, if God can redeem them, for the things that they did, come on now. But we get caught up in our journeys a lot of the time, believing that we unworthy. That's the trick of the adversary, bro. It's never too late to come back to Christ, bro. It's never too late to do the right thing. Also, you have to understand too, this is where we had to be humble. When we go through trials and tribulations, betrayals, all types of situations, losing stuff, getting evicted, getting your car repossessed. It's early, y'all. getting your car repossessed and all that type of stuff. Oh my goodness, my eyes, bruh. Getting your car repossessed, all that type of stuff, you know. We have to be able to be humble enough to look in ourselves and understand that, like, our decisions and actions led to this moment, bro. Like, no matter what you want to believe and all of this type of stuff, and a lot of the things that happen to us is due to our sin too. Now, the second reason on why we suffer is simply because God is testing you. And these two things, now that I'm thinking about it, they might go hand in hand. Like, but God is testing you, bro. Like, God is, you know, we don't grow in comfort. You know, we grow in pain. We grow going through stuff. You know, we got to experience certain people, you know, doing us wrong in our families, you know, in our friendships, in our intimate relationships. You know, we got to experience hardship. A lot of the quote unquote chosen are, you know, targeted. Like, Satan God gonna test you using Satan as the adversary in your life. So, you know, God never promised it was gonna be all peachy and keen. You know, he never promised you wasn't gonna suffer. He never promised it wasn't gonna be no hardship. And we gotta understand, when your spirit is just strong, like when your spirit is resilient to the point where you even no matter what you go through, you keep following. You keep following. You keep following Christ, you know. Those experiences just make you stronger, bro. They make you want to level up, bro. When you lose something, you understand, okay, it's more to gain right around the corner, right? When somebody's persecuting you, you understand, okay, this person is trying to energy harvest because they see the light in what I'm doing. And it's usually right before a level up period, right? You know, when somebody betray you, it's kind of like it teach you what you need to look out for, and it teach you what you need to look out for in that person and people like that in the future, because, you know, people want to believe that they can hide their intentions and their patterns and their signs, but at the end of the day, when you pray for discernment, I talked about praying for understanding and discernment in another video. But when you pray for discernment and you pray for understanding, like, you would be able to know these things. And even if you get caught up dealing with, you know, somebody, a family member, anybody, friend, anybody that just, you know, they betray you, that your trust and all this type of stuff, you will be able to really go back and reflect on it and be like, dang, this is where I went wrong, ignoring this sign out of good faith. Because a lot of the time, you know, the saints, we have a lot of empathy. So, you know, we be wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt. We be wanting to, you know, go out on good faith with people. And we really just be wanting to help people, bro. We really just be wanting to save people. Nobody want to see nobody go to hell. So, but we have to understand, when we go through stuff like that, you'll be, if you praying for the discernment and all that type of stuff, you will be able to go back, really think about the situation and be like, dang, here, I kind of let this slide. You know, it was what it was. So it's like those type of situations, they prepare you for the next. They prepare, you gotta count it all joy and be grateful when people reveal themselves, bro, because, you know, it just strengthened your walk. You know, it'll hurt for that moment, but at the end of the day, like I said, you'll be way more prepared for the next time. Like, and that's just how people work. So yeah, God put us through stuff to strengthen us and to prepare us for the things to come. Cause we think things, you know, we think it's like, we be living our lives like nothing bad's supposed to happen, you know, or nothing unfortunate. And we don't be understanding how unfortunate it can get. It's people out here without no legs, bro, without no home, bro. You know, it's people in other countries getting tortured. They can't even have a Bible, you know. It's all types of stuff. People getting incarcerated for crimes they never even committed. Like, it's wicked. And we gotta understand, you know. A lot of the times we ain't even going through the worst of it. Like, look at what Christ went through. Like, he was mocked, he was beaten, he was spitting upon. and they crucified him, and they did like they murdered him in the worst way, you know. And these wasn't just the Romans, but these was, you know, our people. These was Israel. So, you know, we gonna be persecuted and suffer for his name's sake, bro. So embrace the suffering, bro. I just wanted to come out here early. You know, it's actually a therapeutic to be waking up doing this, but yeah, I wanted to come on here early and just, you know, share the wisdom that I have on this topic. It just hit me right at the break of dawn. So if you enjoyed, you know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. If you made it this far, share it with somebody, man. People be needing this information. With all of that being said, you know, it's been your boy, the chosen one, God's chosen son. I'm signing out, man.